Okay, welcome to another episode of the Sovereign Mamas podcast. Today I'm here with Sam Long. I just discovered that we're both on the same side of the globe, which is exciting. Welcome to the show, Sam.
Thank you so much for having me, Julia. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Amazing. Yeah. So I'm so curious and want to ask you so many questions. I hope we get through all of them. Well, first of all, and all these questions will help people understand what you're doing. I want to know because your mission is to help people anchor into 5D consciousness. And so, can you tell us a little bit about the moment like your own awakening began and what pulled you into that path?
Ooh, good question. Okay, so let's see. Um, to be honest with with you, it's a little bit hard for me to remember the exact like awakening moment.
Mm,
I really I spent a lot of my formative years just addicted to media, and also as a younger person, I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. So I really struggled to have my own identity and know exactly who I was.
mm,
With that in mind, it just kind of, as I got to be older, I just started to see what would happen if I let some of that stuff go and just peel the layers away. And then eventually, um, through my withdrawal of media and also through my world travels, I just fell more into the divine.
wow, awesome. That's so cool. And so your podcast is called Flowering into 5D. And that's such a
Exactly.
powerful name. What does flowering mean in this sense, or to you, especially in a world that, I mean, it still so glorifies hustle and constant growth. So yeah, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so for me, flowering is like a natural progression into, 5D, or for me, 5D just means loves, like just all encompassing love. So just a natural slow progression that isn't forced, that's not um robotic, or like forced, I guess would be the right word. But yeah, just a natural connection to the divine, to aka nature, and just going into it slowly and mindfully, um because we all have the ability to bloom and to be our best selves, but it just can take a little bit of time.
Yes, absolutely. And would you say that time before you then, um, started on your spiritual path, were you living out of not only alignment with, or maybe that's the same thing, I don't know, with your human design itself? Or would you say that being like living your human design then helped you also understand more your spirituality or vice versa?
Yeah, definitely. It helped me in a lot of different ways, not just spiritually, but just again going back to my identity. It really reminded me of a lot of things that I kind of forgot about myself. Specifically, I got the idea when I was traveling that I was going to become a postpartum doula and childbirth educator, and help women through that extremely important time in their lives. Before my travels, I kind of had the idea that maybe I'd be helping children in some way. I was always really good with helping kids, but um, I just kind of came to the conclusion that the best way to help kids would actually be to help the women or their parents
Mhm.
before they come, or right as they come, because this is such an important time in a family's life, or beginning, or whatever you want to call it. And I was so convinced that like this was my path and I am just here for this. And then I had my own daughter, and I don't know what happened. There was just a little factory reset that just said, nah, like maybe later, but right now that's not what you want to do anymore. And I mean, I spent a lot of time obviously being a mom and paying attention in that role a lot. And didn't really have the capacity to help anybody else. Um, and yeah, now I've just kind of taken a detour. I wouldn't say that I'm completely off that path forever, but going back to your question, my human design really helped me be okay with that,
Mm-hmm.
and realizing that I can have multiple paths. I
Mm.
actually follow a true sidereal human design, which is basically instead of going through tropical astrology, it uses a true sidereal, which basically matches the size and placement of the constellations in the sky right now. So it's not going off of this 2,000-year-old calculation with the seasons.
Mm.
And not only that, it also takes into account the precession of the planet. Like it's the axis has changed over time. Uh, so when I first discovered human design, that was like mind blown. But then I discovered true sidereal, and that was like, oh, it
Mhm.
all makes so much sense now, and just yeah, just
Wow.
love it, love
Maybe
it,
we
love it.
maybe we need to take everyone on this journey because there might be listeners who are brand new to human design. So what's the simplest way to briefly describe? I know it's like this whole thing, but describe the body graph and its purpose.
Yeah, so basically the body graph looks like a bunch of symbols. There's let's see here. It looks kind of like the chakra system, but with a
Mhm.
few little extra bits and bobs. There's like they're called gates going from one energetic center to the next. And basically, it uses the Kabbalah system, it uses the chakra system, it uses astrology, and the I Ching to basically give you a full roadmap to who you are. And specifically, I find with true sidereal human design, it is more soul led than traditional human design. And I mean, maybe people who are very like diehard human design might not appreciate that, but I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So
I
so
love
yeah,
that.
I it basically like it gives you a very quick overview of like your energetic type, like what
Mhm.
it's kind of like your sun sign, like it's like very, very high level. Like this is you, but it's not the full you. Then it also can give you your authority, like what you should be listening to in your body, um, to give you the answers, and then your strategy. So one thing that I'll just explain for just as an example is in my traditional human design, I'm a projector, and that's 20% of the population. And what projectors do is they guide people. They're the wise owls. They're the people that have this knowing. So for a projector, the strategy is to wait for the invitation. So
Mhm.
projectors have all this great advice. They're ready to just shoot it out at people. But most people are like, whoa, I didn't ask you for that. Like, can you not? So the
Mhm.
strategy is I have to wait until somebody asks me my opinion. And if I don't follow that strategy, for example, um, I will get bitter. And this is very true for me in like I don't want to say my old life because it's still both of them ring true in different ways, the tropical and the true sidereal. But yeah, it definitely like resonated with me. I was like, "Ooh, I do get bitter if people don't take my advice."
I
So
do remember exactly what you described when you read your chart or when someone reads it to you, because in the beginning you're like, oh, for
what
me
is
it
all
was
this?
complex and all these symbols. But then once I got this explained, like I felt so good about me finally. I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. Like I'm a manifesting generator and I'm a
Mm,
final line. And my sacral authority is I have a sacral authority. Is that how you say
Yep.
that?
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so I do understand now that just like you explained, I also like have these full-blown visions and I can see everything how you get there. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited and I want everyone to just like let's go run because I have the energy of 5 people, right? Or more sometimes.
Yes.
And it just doesn't work. Like it just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And if I now see how powerful it is to lean back, to inform a little bit, then wait for the feedback, and then take another step and just like be in this more, ah, oh, it's been really game changing for me. And I wish everyone would at least look once into their charts and then also with partners and children. Ah, like
The whole thing. That's
so
funny,
good.
actually. That's so funny because in True Sidereal, I'm also a manifesting generator. So I'm also like that, like
Okay.
energy person where I'm like, go, 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 and then the like pivot, like, okay, this isn't working, move on.
Mm,
But we're the
mhm,
only ones that can do that. Other people, it's like too much for them and they have to like
mhm,
stay the course. But manifesting generators were designed to find the mistakes and find the like imbalances and be like, okay,
mhm.
cool, this isn't working. I already thought of this.
It-
Goodbye, anyways. So cool.
oh, it is funny. Um, yeah, so what do you think were the most common areas of burnout or misalignment that you see in your clients and especially women or moms? Let's talk about moms for this podcast. And how can you see that then human design shifts that? We're basically just touched on that, but maybe a little more.
Yeah, so hmm I think that with moms it gives us the acceptance of ourselves to know that, what, like, it's okay that we don't have all the answers. This is something I'm good at. These are some things that maybe I'm not as strong at, and that's okay.
Mm,
Because I really think that a lot of the times as a mom, we're told like, oh, you do everything and
mm.
you hopefully do it well, like or you might screw up your kids, like it's one of those things that, um,
Pressure.
yeah, exactly. The pressure, for me, it really kind of took the pressure off of like, okay, let's just relax. I'm good at these things. I'm maybe not the best at these things, and not that I'm not going to try, but I give myself a little bit of a permission slip. And also with human design, it shows you where you've been kind of programmed from other people. So it gives you kind of that overview of like, okay, maybe this isn't me. And then when you're able to step out of that and come more into your truer self, it's almost like a breath of fresh air,
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's like, for me, it's really helped being a mom a lot. Um, and just working with kids. I also have a play group for kids ages 2 to 6. So
Uh,
yeah, it's really helped me also kind of to get an idea of like, okay, I'm pretty sure that this kid is a manifesting generator, and just
uh,
kind of seeing, can I tailor things a little bit more to them, or like, this child is giving some projector vibes, they're very insightful, and even though they're young, and like, let's see if I can kind of tweak things. And it's
mm,
also really helped in that way as well, is to recognize like the children's unique abilities and fostering that from a young age, so they don't have to go into that 7 years of deconditioning that a lot of people suggest with human design. Once you discover your information and about your body graph, that you're to go into a 7-year
all right.
deconditioning strategy where you just try to like figure out like, okay, what's me and what's not me, and then get rid of the stuff that's not you. So if we could just avoid that from the jump, that would be great.
That's what I keep thinking to myself or saying to myself. I'm like, how can I be a mom to my 2 boys? Like, knowing what I know today and
Hmm.
being really aware of all the things and even outside of human design but like preparing them so that they don't have to go through therapy or that they don't have to go through all these like and then at the same time I'm also thinking it's again the manifesting generator in me that wants to like give everything at once and lets them see the whole vision or the bigger picture. And it's also so healthy to go through the phases and don't skip the steps. And
Hmm.
I think we repeat this a lot here on this podcast, that everyone comes always to the conclusion that the 20s is just a learning phase. Like we need that decade to find ourselves, to really make mistakes, to go raw, do the awful things that we're doing in the 20s, and then kind of getting our shit together in the 30s, and then finally becoming ourselves in the 40s, maybe, or 50s. And
Yeah,
so,
hopefully.
hopefully, yes. So yeah, I think also, like you say, um, in motherhood in general, I feel letting go of that pressure of being too perfect. No one's perfect. And finding peace that, you know, who we are and how we are with our children is perfect to them,
Hmm.
right?
Exactly. And you know what? It's what I find to be so important more than anything is kids just want your time. They don't,
Mm,
that's, if you give them your time, you're doing the best thing for them,
mhm,
period. Giving them your time and undivided attention. That's going to do more than any, I mean, I
mm.
love human design, but that's going to do more than any body graph or anything, because
So true.
really that's what they need. They, I love this, I don't know if it's a quote or I'll probably mess it up a little bit, but you'll get my point. There's
Yeah.
a quote from Dr. Gabor Mate, or analogy or whatever, but basically he said, um, a parent, a child came to their parent and said, "I want to dye my hair blue," and the dad said, "Absolutely not," or the mom or whoever, the parent. And if the parent had just given them the space or even just repeated what they said back, like, "Oh, you want to dye your hair blue?" Then the kid would say, "Yeah, I want to dye my hair blue. Um, my friends are all doing it."
Mm.
And again, no, if your friends jump off a bridge, are you gonna jump off a bridge? Like that, things that
Yeah.
maybe older people would have said, or whatever. But again, giving them the space, maybe even just mirroring it back to them. Oh, okay, so your friends are dyeing their hair blue, and you want to dye your hair blue too. Okay. um and just
Exactly.
waiting. Then this gives the space for the child to say, "Yeah, you know what, like I want to dye my hair blue because my friends are all dyeing my hair blue and I just don't really feel like I fit in, and I just
Mm.
really think that that would help me." And I mean, these are the types of conversations that parents actually want to have with their kids, but they're not finding those conversations with their kids because they're immediately saying like, "Nope, nope, no," because
Oh,
it's something, it shakes us up, so we shut it down. But if we just stop and listen and give them that time of day, like it's amazing what can
mm.
happen. So I really found that so powerful, and I really try to apply that not just in my like
That is
parenting
powerful.
strategy.
Yeah. I must
Yeah.
admit, um I have said that bridge jumping thing again before. Oh gosh. But then I also, when I say it, I realize it, and I'm like, come on. We don't say that in our generation anymore because it's so true. And then I catch myself really quickly, but the default is really, we're so conditioned, like because our
Hmm.
parents' generation, oh wow, bless them, but there was quite a lot going on. And
Yeah.
so
Well, they were doing the best that they could with the tools they
absolutely.
have available to them. That's what I say, because I mean, I feel like we could all write a book about how messed up
Mm,
our parents or made us, or whatever. But um, we know better, so we can do better now.
exactly. Oh, so funny. And I just had a really like funny conversation or bright moment when we had dinner, and my 8-year-old, so he's my oldest, um he has been having a cough since quite a a long time now. I think already 3 or 4 weeks, and he's not getting it rid, getting rid of it. And I've been
Mm,
doing the things right, and then I'm going and looking at him, and he doesn't want to take vitamins, and I say, look, like these are the options, and then I'm talking to him and about him, and then and then I know how I'm getting frustrated because he doesn't want to swallow the pill. And I was
hmm.
like, okay. And then I lean back and then I make a joke about it. And then he says, oh, I like it so much better, mommy, when you're happy and funny. And then I'm like, yeah, okay, let's talk about that. And so we got into this whole conversation that then ended up me um, teaching them also about the power of smiling and laughing, and how, you can heal your body by just like, let's just like, if you don't want to swallow the pill, let's just tell your body tomorrow you'll be a bit better, right? And then we talk about this, and it ended up being like a really funny situation, and both of them putting tape on their cheeks so that they keep smiling even if they are like just forget about it. And and that just like made my day. And I thought, okay, like more of those moments. These are the moments that I want my children really to remember, and having fun in the serious moments when you as a parent really feel like, oh, this should happen now, the shoulds. I feel that's always the key
Hmm.
thing. Know what's best for them, and then here's the other opinion, like, okay, how
Yeah.
to navigate that, right?
Definitely. Yeah, it's tough to it's tough. Parenting is, I think, the toughest job ever,
Yeah.
and it always has to catch you when you're not, paying attention, and just,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's ooh. Even my daughter today, I have a yoga mat behind me, and she was just running her fingernail and like leaving an indent in it. And I was like, "Can you
Mm.
stop that, please?" And she's like, she'll be
Oh,
4 in a few months, so
oh,
she's there, just
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, can we not, try everything? And it just, no. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I turn the yoga mat around, and she pulls it back and just, I'm like,
Oh, oh yeah.
okay. I'm like, okay, you know what? Why don't we go? I was like, this is not the kind of attention that you want. I was like, I know you're trying to get some attention from me, and I completely get it. I was busy, so I had to like say like, okay, yeah, you got my attention. Why don't we go jump on the trampoline or go do something else, because this is not going well? And she was like, yeah. And then she didn't do it again. So I mean, at this age, it's a little bit different than an 8-year-old, obviously, but it's just recognizing it.
Yes. It has different levels maybe, but
Yeah, yeah,
in the end, they all want the same. Yeah, like you say, they're
so
happy
true.
when you really fully give them the attention. Um, oh yeah, absolutely. So you have one daughter?
I have one daughter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And well, so let's talk maybe again a little bit more about entrepreneurs and how you feel like they could begin run a business according to the design, and or are there like codes or strategies that you find that, depending on each type, what aligns best um, for each type?
You know what? That's a really hard question to answer for me just right off the jump. I'm going to be just
Mm.
completely real and honest with you. Um, I can't answer that, because I really think it's more than just an energetic type to say like,
Mhm.
oh, well, this is what you would strive at. There is definitely different gates that you can look at, that
Mhm.
would give you more relevant information than just your energetic type. I would say for me, just to be completely real, I would say disengage from as much media as you can and as much
Mhm.
outside noise. Sit with yourself more in silence and see what comes up, and see what really is something that you're interested in, and not be afraid to experiment, because that's the main thing about human design is it's all a big experiment.
Mm.
So something that you think like, well, maybe this will work, just try it.
Yeah.
Like just try it. Like it's I left everything, and the only person that I brought with me was my husband. I left Canada in 2016 to go
Mhm.
traveling. I had no idea. Like I knew where I was going because I was the type at that point in my life where I made a PowerPoint of where I was going and like
Nice.
planned it. I was like, and this is the hot season at this time of year, like the whole thing.
Oh.
But then I just let it all go and traveled and, just really opened myself up to my, divine connection and just went with it. Like
Mm,
that's the main, just go for it. Just try it. If you are thinking, oh, well, maybe I should start a business. If you don't know what you want to start it in, just ask yourself when you have some time in silence and you're not trying to do 100 things at once, or you're, been blasted with ads all day.
mm,
You're not going to get a clear answer. But if you're able to take some time away in
mm,
silence, doesn't have to be 48 hours or anything, but take some time, see what comes up. And, for me as well, like asking help from my angels or my spirit guides or the divine or whoever you like to call it,
mm,
um, has helped me even more than anything, because then I'm able to start paying attention to the signs that come through, because I'm able to sit in silence and I'm not being blasted by advertisements and whatnot all day, which is a huge benefit for me being in Cambodia, where I'm not inundated with media all the time. Um,
mm.
it, I feel, yeah, like I know maybe that's not like the best answer to your question, but
Oh, that's
I'm an
perfect.
honest person. It's,
That
yeah,
is,
it's
that's perfect. Yeah.
trust, find that voice, listen to it, and that will guide you more than anything. The human design is a great roadmap and it might give you some very good answers, but at the end of the day, nothing's going to give you a better answer than you.
Yeah. That's so true. It's just a tool. It's something, yeah, like, yeah, you said it perfectly. I repeat it. Yeah. And I think people who like you and I go out into the world, and then because I did the same, my departure was in 2011 and I just left Germany back then. I didn't have a PowerPoint, but I had my Lonely Planet and I had my around the world ticket booked and I knew where I was going in which direction. But
Yeah.
I was able to extend each stay
Hmm.
and could change the flights. And that was
Perfect.
dangerous because I had planned, only 4 weeks in India. And then, oh, I ended up liking it. So I stayed longer. And then, oops, this happened in the
Yep.
second destination. Oops, again. And these
Yeah.
4 months, I mean, to be honest, I was quite naive. And I said, yeah, so I'll be gone for a few weeks. And then it turned into a full year. And then, oops, I met someone and then I never returned. And so that is my story in a nutshell. And then I healed him. But I think when you do that, it's truly awakening. Like you don't have to
Hmm.
travel. I feel I'm always thinking, is that really true? But it's a joyful and fun way of discovering yourself plus the world,
Mm.
and see that everyone on this planet like is that's what grounded me so much in this world, knowing that people everywhere in this world have the same mission and we're all here for the same thing. And no, it's not more dangerous just because on the news it's been like I traveled to places where it was like saying, go, don't go there. And I was like, well, let's see.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was same here. I went to Uganda and my grandma
Mhm.
was like, "You can't go there. It's so dangerous." I was like, "But
Yeah. But
it
how
was
do you
one of
know?
the most comfortable, safe places I've been in this world." I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, it's okay. I mean, not the whole country, but I mean, I'm not going to the places that are like travel advisories specifically, but
Exactly.
some cases I kind of did and nothing happened. So I mean, obviously things do happen and I'm not trying to, sugarcoat or say like, oh no, the world isn't, there's no dangerous places in the world. Of course there is. But, overall, I completely resonate with what you're saying. And I have to tell you, Julia, I don't know if you know, but, or if you remember, but I was actually, I was so inspired by your story back in 2015 that I started a travel blog and I had you as a guest on my
Oh
travel
my gosh.
blog.
Yes, and we talked about it. I completely blanked out again. Like, yes, thank you for reminding. Me again. Oh my gosh. Yes. How can I have missed that piece? Oh, yes. So we have connected before, but
Yeah,
how did
and
you
then
meet back then? Like
I don't
I
even know. I couldn't. I was trying to think. I was like, but how? Like,
yeah.
because
And now
I mean, the things are so different now, and I was just so shocked when I saw it. I was like, I wonder if that's the same Julia, and it was. And
yeah.
I was like, I have to
Oh,
be on. I have to connect with this lady. This is crazy. So
that's so funny. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And you said it the other day, and I was like, yes, of course, of course. See, but this is also a big takeaway from traveling. Oh my gosh, like how many times have I bumped into people, the same people,
yes.
in places like big cities, Bangkok, bam. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
what we like
Mm-hmm.
I just saw you
Yes.
at the night, whatever, like Nicaragua, and now you're in Bangkok. This
Yeah.
is so weird. And online spaces too. Um, yes, talking about synchronicity and yeah,
Yes, I think for me, synchronicity, like I don't believe in coincidences. I think everything
no.
is just the way it's supposed to be. And I really feel like when things like this happen, it for me is a reminder that I'm on the right path. And
Mhm.
that I'm just keep going, you know. So yeah, I was delighted when I saw your name. I was like, oh no way. That's
Oh,
so cool.
yeah. So good. Thanks for bringing that up again.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I completely forgot again. But yeah, so funny. And it has been an evolution. And yet still, I feel it's funny that you say that because now that I'm thinking about it, I do believe I was on my path,
Hmm.
and there quite a few things, lessons on the way to today. I'm not
Hmm.
saying derailed me, but slowed maybe, or like I had to like go left and right again. And
Hmm.
now, just now, like we just moved from Thailand to Bali 4 weeks ago now. Oh wow,
Oh,
yeah, 4 weeks. Um, and now I'm like so sure, like there's angel numbers everywhere all the time. I can't
hmm.
like I'm clicking on my phone just to check. Oh my God, okay, again, and and here and there, and so I so am on my path, and I'm calling in eh, conversations like these without
Yes.
even knowing what's going to happen. And then each time I hop off a podcast interview like this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like, yes, I'm doing this podcast obviously for the women out there, but it's almost like it's my healing hour. Do you know what?
Yes, absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
so yeah, I'm so loving this, and I so am grateful too for doing this. And again, I was not going to launch this podcast until August. That was my plan. I had an agenda, and I had like all these plans, and I had other offers that needed to come out first. And then I did share it with the world, and they all said, nah. And each time I mentioned podcast, oh, podcast, yeah. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Podcast, yeah. And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, but that comes later. Let's do this first. Nope. Nope. And
Yeah.
so now I'm in this position where I really can let go of my agenda and say, all right, I'm seeing the signs. Yes, I'm listening. That's
Hmm.
your way. If this is meant to be, then I'm just doing this right now. And
Yes,
it's this trusting, right? And even if it doesn't make sense, just taking it a step at a time.
definitely. And it's funny, actually, I completely, that resonates with me a lot as well. One day I opened Facebook and I saw this person saying, I'm looking to be on a guest, looking to be a guest on a podcast talking about 5D consciousness and
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, oh, okay. And then
Mhm.
I heard this voice say, like, oh, that person's going to be on your podcast. I was like, I don't have a podcast. I was like, oh, okay,
Oh,
maybe. Oh, I got it. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm gonna start a podcast. And then I did, and yeah, same as just the conversations I've been able to have been completely divinely timed, and just really helping me on my path to just becoming my highest self, if you will. So right there with
hmm.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing. maybe one last question
Yeah.
before we're wrapping up, but is there like if you can share something like a daily ritual that you're doing or something, a practice that keeps you anchored in your truth, of course, meditation, but maybe you have something else?
Yeah, sure. So one thing that I love to do is it's quite simple. Just kind of takes a moment. Hopefully you're in silence or, as silent as possible. And you just imagine golden light coming into your crown, through all your chakra system, down through your feet, connecting into the ground, and just sitting with that for a moment or moments, releasing whatever no longer serves, and just calling in and saying like angels or the divine or whoever you like to talk to, um, help me today to be safe, help me to be kind, help me to be my truest self. The words change from day to day.
Mm,
Sometimes I say other things, sometimes I don't say any of that, and I say barely nothing because it just doesn't feel right. But just taking that ritual of moment of silence, is so
mm,
important. One thing I'll say as well is I recently finished reading a book called Change Me Prayers. Um, I'd recommend this book to anybody. It's Tasha Silver, Tasha with an O, Tasha Silver, Change Me Prayers. And it's just a collection of very short stories, which I absolutely love because you can just kind of fit them in anytime. You're not like, oh
mm,
gosh, how am I ever going to finish this book?
mm,
And at the end of each little story, she has written a little prayer that you can recite if you want. That's change me, divine beloved, into the type of person who can take this on without being overwhelmed, or but it's always asking the divine to help us change into the person that can handle the situation or be who we want to be, or change me, divine beloved, into somebody who can handle when my child runs their nail on a yoga mat for the 20th time after you say no, and not take it to level 10, like just things like this. And I've
mm,
really started to try, to apply that into my daily routine, as well as just having a almost not constant, but just having an open line of communication with God or with the divine or whoever you want to call it.
mm,
Really helps me to be more
mm.
with my stuff together, if you will.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's so good. So Sam, where can people find you when our listeners want to find out more about you? Obviously in the show notes, but
Yeah, so you can find me at Flowering into 5D. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. And then I also, my main thing right now, like I love helping people with human design and using detoxification with human design to kind of anchor into that 5D. But
Mhm,
the people that I feel most called to help, like my real niche down audience, that I feel honestly called by the divine, is people with borderline personality disorder.
mm,
It's a very complex trauma disorder, and there's not a lot of help for it. It's kind of been stigmatized as, oh, those people are untreatable. And I'm living proof that it absolutely is. So if anybody is working with borderline personality disorder in their lives and they need some help with that, you can find me at BPD2 Bliss,
mhm.
um, on Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, I think that's it for now. But and my website for bpd2bliss.com. And I also have a website as well, floweringinto5d.com. Sorry, that's a little all over the place there for a second, a little manifesting
That,
generator moment,
that
but
is fine. And again, don't worry about writing anything down. We will absolutely have all the links so you can find Sam and yeah, reach out for whatever topic that speaks to you. Thank you so much for yeah, connecting with me, reaching out and saying, "Hey, I know you." So good.
my
And
pleasure.
here we go again. Yes, and for sharing all the wisdom and nuggets here with our listeners. I hope everyone can take away something that they were like feeling most inspired. And yeah, so we might do this again in 2 or 3 years, or maybe sooner. Who knows? Let's
I
see
would love
what's.
it. Maybe you could be on my podcast. That would be
I
fun.
love that. Of
Yeah.
course, let's do it. Podcast swaps. I love them. Amazing.
Awesome.
And
Thank you so
thanks so much
much.
for listening. Again, thanks, Sam, and see you next time, everyone.